It was announced last year fans won't have too long to deal with their grief when the hugely popular fantasy drama ends after season 8. HBO producers confirmed they would be developing the franchise with a whole host of spin-off material from the Westeros universe. However, they warn fans not to expect any characters to pop up from Game of Thrones itself. Ever since then, details have been few and far between until author George shared his latest blog post today. He began, "As most of you know, HBO is presently developing a number of different prequels to Game of Thrones. I know I am going to be asked whether those shows are going to be based on material from Fire and Blood. It's a logical question," he reasoned. But then George gave a very cryptic response about the future. "The only answer I can give is, well, no one is sure yet," he admitted. "And anyway, I am not allowed to say, so let's move that to the side." Fire and Blood is set to be a companion book about the monumental history of the Targaryen kings of Westeros. News broke earlier this week that the next highly anticipated novel in the A Song of Ice and Fire series would definitely not be released this year. George's announcement that Fire and Blood would be focused on instead didn't do much to assuage the hordes of disappointed fans. But following the author's latest tease, the latest book may be one to keep an eye on after all. HBO Network's president Casey Bloys also shared the prequels could include bloodlines fans will already be familiar with. Fans continue to search for fresh tidbits about their favorite series, and George did drop in some good news for fans of his novels. At the end of his blog post earlier this week, he revealed that although it may be a while away from release, he is definitely working on Winds of Winter. Archmaester Jidane is hanging up his quill for a while, he said. "As for me, I'm returning once again to the Winds of Winter." The HBO show has long eclipsed the timeline of the novels from which they took their inspiration, but the later publication of the last two books could be good news for those who will be mourning its conclusion next year. Game of Thrones Season 8 will return to HBO and Sky Atlantic in 2019.